So you're thinking of doing a van conversion but you don't know what van to choose? Here are 5 of the best options on the market for you to turn into your new tiny home on wheels and kickstart that van life.
I'm Matt and this is Sky. Together with Ginny and Little Man, we are going to build the ultimate adventure van and travel the world. If you're new to the channel, why not subscribe and join us on this epic new adventure? This is A Buck Life.
In this video I'm going to give you 5 of the best vans for you to choose for your van conversion. I'm going to give you the pros and cons and some of the most common faults. Just to be clear, this is for larger vans with a high top roof. We're just in the process of getting our van conversion started at the moment, so I've spent hours and hours researching all the different types of vans to choose, what the pros and cons are. Make sure you stay to the end as I will be giving you my pick. So number 1 is the Mercedes Sprinter. One of the positives for the Mercedes is because it's been such a popular van, the sheer amount of camper van and customizable parts you can buy on the aftermarket for the Sprinter is really good. Things like 4x4 and overlanding equipment is really good, and also pre-made interior components are really good as well. This is probably the most well-known large van available and one of the most common vans to convert. A big pro for many years of the Mercedes Sprinter is that it had 4-wheel drive or now all-wheel drive. Another big pro of the Sprinter is that you don't lose any headroom in 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive versions of the van. Also, the interior quality of the Mercedes Sprinter is really good. It's as you would expect from the Mercedes brand. It also has the highest level of in-car technology and most customizable in terms of options that you can apply to it if you're ordering it new. Another big positive for the Mercedes Sprinter is the comfort of the seats. When I was going around test driving and looking at vans for myself, I really noticed the comfort levels of the interior cab were tip top. I would say the biggest con of the Mercedes Sprinter is the price point. It is the most expensive van on this list. It's the most expensive van that you can buy. They are quite pricey new, and they also do tend to hold their value quite well as well on the second-hand market. They also don't have the best payload capacity at 1516 kilograms. The design of the Sprinter also means that the interior space is also reduced compared to some of the others on this list. It also doesn't have the best MPG at an average of 32 MPG. Some of the other vehicles on this list do get much better miles per gallon. Some of the common faults for the Sprinter are problems with the AdBlue and DPF. The next option on our list of vans to convert is the VW Crafter, also known as the MAN TGE. One big positive of buying it through MAN is they do look to be that little bit cheaper, and also the dealer network of MAN is amazing. You can get a MAN van serviced at any time, 24 hours a day, and they've got a great range of dealer networks. The VW Crafter's big plus point is that it is a really comfortable van to drive. So if you are traveling in it and doing a lot of distance and miles, it's a really comfortable van to do those miles in. It's easy to drive and it gets quite good MPG at 38 miles per gallon. You can also get an all-wheel drive version of the VW Crafter. Aesthetically, they are also a good looking van, and I would consider them to be up there with Mercedes in terms of being a premium product, even though the price point is a little bit better and they do offer that little bit more value for money, but they are still an expensive van to buy. Another good thing about the VW Crafter is that there's plenty of conversion parts available, especially in the UK. It's a very popular van to convert, so that does mean you can get lots of Crafter specific products. Quite often when I've been looking for my conversion, there's either been a Sprinter specific or Crafter specific part available. What are the cons then of the VW Crafter? Well, if you watch my review of my VW Crafter, you will know that the interior plastic of the cabin is very cheap. It feels extremely cheap and not particularly well thought out. It also has a pretty limited payload at 1,531 kilograms. And one big negative compared to the Mercedes, if you are looking at the all-wheel drive version, is the headroom that you get. Because of the all-wheel drive system, the floor is actually lifted by 10 centimeters. Next up is the Ford Transit. I know this is a very popular option in America, as I don't seem to see very many people converting VW Crafters out there. Again, you can get the Transit in an all-wheel drive version. I'm not sure from my research that the all-wheel drive system is anywhere near as good as the VW Crafter or the Sprinter. But the big positive with the Transit is its MPG. Out of all of the vans on the list, this has the best MPG of 42 miles per gallon. So if you're doing a lot of miles, that could save you quite a lot of money. The interiors for the new Transits are also really nice, really modern, and they are supposed to be very comfortable and very easy to drive. They also look really good from outside. Aesthetically, I think the Transit Trail looks mega. It looks really aggressive. It's got that Raptor grille in there. So if you're looking for that adventure look van, then the Transit could be for you. There has been, though, some reliability issues with the Transit. Specifically, the wet belts have gone on younger engines, which has resulted in the engine having to be swapped, which isn't great. The other problem that these face is similar to the Sprinter, which is DPF filters and AdBlue systems not working very well or needing unblocking. They're also less commonly used for conversion, so there's not as many Transit specific parts available for a Transit, but there are plenty of generic ones that you can use. And finally, the payload isn't as good as either the Crafter or the Sprinter. In fact, any of the vans on this list, it's actually got the lowest payload of 1,472 kilograms. Next on our list is a van that has many names. You can buy this van under the name of a Fiat Ducato, a Peugeot Boxster, a Citroen Relay, and in America, the Ram ProMaster. The biggest positive about this van is its price point. It actually comes in at the cheapest of all of the vans on this list and the most affordable. Another massive positive for this van is that its boxy shape, although maybe not aesthetically great, does give you the most room inside the van. So if you want absolutely maximum space, this is the van for you. You can't get it in four-wheel drive, but that space, if you're living in it long term, could be a winner. Not only does it have the largest interior space, this van also has the second highest payload capacity of 1,605 kilograms. So again, you'll be able to load it up with all your kit on there. However, there are some quite big cons for this van as well. First of all, it is the cheapest van on the list, but that does mean that you're probably not going to be getting quite as good a product as the other vans available. For instance, these vans do feel noisy and not very refined when you're driving. People report that they can be quite tiring and hard to drive long distance. Another big issue with these vans is rust. Only the other day I saw a 2019 plate van that had quite extensive rust. So if you're buying these new, great, you should be fine. But if you are buying it second hand, make sure you really check it for rust or deal with that rust before you start your conversion. Another big negative for this van is the MPG at 35 miles per gallon. It's not quite as bad as the Mercedes, but it's only a little bit better. Overall, this is a really good van for the money. You do get a lot of van for your money, you get a lot of space, you get a lot of load capacity. And it's definitely worth looking at it because the price of some of these vans new has gone through the roof. Lastly on our list is the Renault Master. You don't often see that many of these used for conversions, but they do have some really good positive points. First of all, you can now get these in a four-wheel drive, and they have the highest payload of any of the vans on our list at 1,610 kilograms. They also have been really well thought out and well designed in the interior cab. However, there are some major cons to the Renault Master. First of all, I'm not too big on the aesthetic. They don't look particularly aggressive. They kind of look like a bug-eyed monster. But the main negative when it came to me researching these vans was its NCAP crash test. It got a really low NCAP crash score, with NCAP recommending not to buy this vehicle out of all of the other vans available. It also has a fairly low MPG of 36 miles per gallon, and it has also been criticised for its bumpy ride quality. So, as promised, what would my pick be? Well, I thought I'd break this down into a couple of different options. I've actually personally bought a VW Crafter 4Motion. There's many reasons for this, and I'm probably going to do another video on it. For me, the VW Crafter offered the price point that I could afford and also a good four-wheel drive system. However, if I had to say what my dream vehicle would be, it would probably be a Mercedes Sprinter 4x4 or all-wheel drive version. I'd actually probably go for a 2020 4x4 version with a high-low diff box. This is because that four-wheel drive system I just really like the look of. You can also get loads of really big 4x4 lift kits that I just think really blur the lines between a adventure van and overlanding vehicle. And if money allowed, at some point in the future, I would love to go down that route. Best value for money though has to be the Fiat Ducato or the Ram ProMaster. I think this van offers really good value for money. The price point is really accessible to a lot of people. And finally, which one would I avoid? It's the Renault Master. Above anything else, these vans need to be safe, and for the NCAP to come back and give that a poor safety rating, I just don't think it makes that a viable option. Thank you so much for watching this video, I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button if you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments which van you would choose or which one you think's best, and hit that subscribe button to follow me on my own van build journey.